What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. It's another big Raw with Seth Rollins defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest and the WWE holding more Money in the Bank qualifiers. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Vince McMahon backstage at Raw and made major changes, Bray Wyatt's return to WWE, is the Judgement Day splitting up, an unlikely WWE wrestler getting a big push, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a fresh tag title match. Kudos to the WWE for giving the fans a new team to challenge for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, we're still skeptical about the WWE choosing Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler as champions, but if they continue giving them fresh opponents like Kaden Carter and Katana Chance while making the challengers look good, it could help create some new tag teams and revive the division. The key will be avoiding the lazy booking where Rousey and Baszler destroy one team after another, ultimately losing their tag titles due to internal strife. Pairing a star of Ronda's level and Shayna, who is no stranger to the tag team gold, should be done to legitimize the titles and the contenders, with any subsequent feud being the secondary goal. Number 2, KO vs Gunther goodness. The WWE isn't slacking off when it comes to getting Imperium over on Raw. Gunther and his cronies have been in the spotlight since being drafted to Raw, and last night's bout between Kevin Owens and Gunther suggests fans should expect more of the same. The two put on a fantastic match, with Owens showing Gunther isn't invincible, at least one-on-one. Thanks to Imperium, Gunther got the Duke, and the fans saw a fantastic match with plenty of potential for a rematch down the road. Number 3, it's good to have a world title back. Seth Rollins' first world title defense on TV was a breath of fresh air and an example of how to effectively use the world title. Seth put over his opponent Damian Priest as well as the rest of the Judgement Day, while also helping to further developing story of the Archer of Infamy breaking away from the Judgement Day. First, Seth challenged Priest to work the match alone. Second, he shook Priest's hand after the match. Third, there was a subtle tension between Priest and Finn Balor after Balor broke his promise that he wouldn't interfere. As for the match itself, Seth and Damian wrestled a true main event level match, hopefully leaving fans wanting more. The only possible pitfall is having Seth overexpose the title by defending it every week, and the Visionary finding himself facing lesser opponents. For now, we'll take the frequent title defenses, then having to wait months for you-know-who to defend his undisputed championship. Number 4, Dominic vs Cody promo. Dominic Mysterio is a fool and Cody is a babyface who doesn't suffer fools gladly. Throw in Raw's resident jerk The Miz, and you know last night's Miz TV was going to be good, especially when Dominic and Rhea Ripley showed up. Dominic set himself up for a verbal beatdown when he accused Cody of being a deadbeat dad, only for Rhodes to counter and say he's made a mistake, just like Dominic Mysterio is one of Ray's mistakes. Damn. Dom's cowardly slap and retreat behind Rhea Ripley was par for the course, but this one isn't over as it's clear Cody will be facing the Judgement Day soon. Number 5, Indus Sher could be a good team. The WWE is finally starting to round out its men's tag division, although it could still benefit from a second tag title, and Indus Sher could be a good addition. The team is booked as two juggernauts, something the WWE had with the Viking Raiders until it jumped them into mediocrity. As we'll see in the news, there's good reason for the team's push. Number 6, Matt Riddle shows fire. Matt Riddle's comedy act can be funny, but it's good to see the Ultimate Bro show fire when he's had enough of a heel chicanery. Having Riddle lay out Imperium backstage after they interfered in the Owens vs Gunther match was a wise way to set things up for Riddle's inevitable clash with the General himself. And Ricochet vs Shinsuke is an instant classic. Ricochet vs Shinsuke Nakamura was an instant classic, and hopefully these two stars will get to lock up again besides at their upcoming men's Money in the Bank ladder match. The WWE has been pushing both wrestlers, and while the King of Strong Style's push seems stronger than Ricochet, Ricochet held his own. Now that was a good what about the bad as number 1, Benjamin and Alexander, jobbers to the stars. It's game over for Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, as seen by Indus Sher demolishing them so badly in the ring that the match went to a no contest. If this doesn't confirm that WWE has no intention of reviving the Hurt Business, what evidence will suffice? It's time for the WWE to split these two up, as Cedric can do better on his own. As Jim Ross would say, Shelton is still a good hand, but nobody expects him to win many matches, let alone championship gold. Let Shelton and Cedric pursue their own paths, whatever they might be. Number 2, weak women's Money in the Bank qualifiers. Last night's women's Money in the Bank qualifiers wasn't so much of a case of showing how weak the women's division is, but how poorly it's been booked. It's doubtful anyone expected perennial jobber Sonya Deville to beat Becky Lynch, even with Chelsea Green helping Sonya. Much was the same with Natalya and Zoe Stark, as fans know Zoe is being pushed while Natalya's career is faring no better than Sonya's. They need to figure out a way to elevate some of its women's undercard so there's some semblance of suspense in who will emerge victorious. That wasn't the case though last night. And number 3, Bronson Reed's predictable interference. Bronson Reed's interference in the Shinsuke vs Ricochet match was predictable and a lazy way to try and get some momentum back for the powerhouse wrestler following his loss last week. The WWE has proven it's capable of clever booking, so it's time for the writers to put some effort into every segment and make them extra special. Now, there was nothing downright ugly, as the WWE had a fantastic main event, a banger between Gunther and Kevin Owens, more developments in what looks to be Cody vs Judgement Day program, the emergence of a dynamite young team of Caden and Katana, and obviously the build to Money in the Bank. But what do you guys think of Raw this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at Vince McMahon was backstage at Raw and made major changes. Atop of today's news is Vince McMahon's presence at the 5th June Raw. Several sources are reporting that not only was Mr. McMahon present backstage, but that he worked a gorilla position. PW Insider reported, Vince McMahon is backstage at Raw in Hartford, Connecticut. Given the proximity to Stamford, this shouldn't be a shock. It's the first Raw since the day after WrestleMania McMahon has been personally in attendance for. For those wondering whether Vince worked his magic, well, Fightful Select noted Vince changed a significant part of the show just a couple of hours before the show. McMahon reportedly has been making changes to WWE TV remotely. But whatever changes McMahon made on last night's Raw was enjoyable compared to his post-WrestleMania trainwreck show. Next up, Bray Wyatt return rumors. Is Bray Wyatt returning to WWE? Well, that's the case according to various reports that have come in. However, the real questions are when and in what capacity Bray will be back. Let's look at a recent report from Paul Davis of Wrestling News. A new rumor has come up in recent days from a Twitter account that claims that the creative came to terms with Wyatt about a new storyline and that he has agreed to make it work despite not being fully satisfied. However, Davis brought up a recent report from Best Wrestling Experience which contradicts the report, claiming the rumor was complete BS and that Wyatt's storyline was scrapped the moment he felt he wasn't in it for Mania. There's no other story than the one agreed on post-Mania. WWE concluded by stating, he's coming back but not pampered like you hinted. Vince McMahon's return could be a major factor in why Wyatt's storyline has gone on hold. While Wyatt is said to be out with an undisclosed medical issue, rumor has it that the WWE wants to bring back The Fiend, which seems like a major shift from Wyatt's vision of his character following his 2022 return at Extreme Rules. Next up is the Judgement Day splitting up. Is the WWE going to split up one of its most popular factions? As noted in our analysis of Raw, the June 5th episode saw a trace of tension between Judgement Day members Finn Balor and Damian Priest, especially when Balor came to ringside to assist Priest despite Damian asking him not to. And now some pundits and fans believe the WWE plans to break up the popular heel faction. While that's possible, we believe it's more likely Damian will turn babyface and go into singles action. They hinted at this after Raw went off the air, and Damian Priest shook Seth Rollins' hand. And you may recall reports that WWE is pleased with Priest's work, especially following his backlash bout against Bad Bunny. Next up, Tony Khan has a big announcement for Collision. AEW's new Saturday show Collision is just over 2 weeks away, and Tony Khan will reportedly make a big announcement concerning the debut episode. AEW tweeted, this Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite, AEW CEO and GM Tony Khan will announce the main event for the Saturday, June 17th premiere of AEW Collision. There's already speculation whether CM Punk will be involved in the main event. Whoever wrestles, let's hope AEW doesn't turn Saturday into another curtain jerker showcase like Rampage. Next up, unlikely WWE wrestlers getting a push. Indus has been crushing opponents in the ring, and apparently there's a good reason for their push. According to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, the company wants Indus positioned strongly as it builds towards their return to India with a September live event. In addition, WrestleTalk notes that WWE is working harder than ever to grow its market in India. WWE has launched a brand new campaign in partnership with Sony Sports Network in the Indian market. Fans should keep an eye on Indus after the WWE's events in India to see whether the WWE is going to give them a short-term push to hype its India show or whether it has a long-term push. And finally, Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank opponent revealed. It looks like WWE has Seth Rollins' opponent for Money in the Bank worked out, at least according to Best Wrestling Experience, which answered a Twitter user's question whether Seth will battle at Judgement Day's Finn Balor at Money in the Bank, with him responding, clear as day. Balor and the Visionary have plenty of history together, with something that the WWE incorporated into this week's Raw when Rollins mocked Balor's title reign that only lasted a day. What do you guys think of the upcoming match? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.